Okay.
I've never seen it. That's why I was asking it, because I've never watched it.
You must. Okay, well, I will caveat with the end is far weaker than the beginning. It kind of, but like it starts off so strong. Like I would say the first 3 seasons are good.
It's one of the few TV shows that have werewolves in it where they did the werewolves justice, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a much bigger werewolf fan than I'm a vampire fan.
I need to check Twitch because I don't know if she started it yet or not. Let's see.
We're live, people. We're live.
Really? You hear my cat purring? He's so loud.
Introduce us all to Andrew Skarsgård.
Oh my god. He's the reason I love that show. He's so gorgeous, it hurts.
Because I have an opinion and I don't want to say it and be recorded.
Let's see. It looks like...
Never mind. I'll say
no, I think we are. I just had to get past the whole, this broadcaster has indicated that this is only for mature audiences. I'm like, So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got to open my disc. I like to have the Twitch window open.
Oh, yeah. 7 o'clock-ish.
Because I'm
trying to mute this. There we go. All right. Yes, we are live currently. Okay. Mute. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. I don't know what's happening. But, Jen's back. Are you not back? Okay. Somewhat. You're muted. I don't know if you're trying to talk. Okay.
No,
her mouth is always...
Yeah, I know.
It's like your mouth is always a mystery behind your mic.
And son of a fuck me. Like,
okay. There's an expression.
You know what? I have a lot of them.
Oh, I know. I've noticed.
What are we doing tonight? Because apparently I forgot to change the description.
It's what video game universe / world would you want to live in? That was overwhelmingly the winner of the poll on Patreon.
No, I meant like what should I title the live stream?
Oh. Patron chat?
Do something super clickbaity.
Super clickbaity. Lots of exclamation points, all caps.
You want to.
Put something about Harry Styles in the title. Everyone will click on it.
Yeah.
Who?
Or Olivia Wilde, because that's apparently all anyone's talking about right now.
Right.
It's that
and
freaking
we are not
movie.
Playing Cyberpunk. We are just chatting.
Harry Styles in Cyberpunk? Question mark?
I haven't cared.
Secret Harry Styles Easter egg in Cyberpunk? Stupid.
I went and found the anime locations. Like, that's a thing.
Oh, I still need to watch that.
Wait.
My kid needs to get out of here.
This is literally one of the greatest shows ever made. You need to watch it, especially if you like the video game. Like,
oh, I do.
It's so good.
I do.
Fucking Greed and Toasty and I. The episode comes out tomorrow.
This next week?
No, tomorrow.
Ooh.
So it'll be. I know. We recorded last night, so like it's gonna be. My weeks are now crazy ass full, so it is going to be. I'm gonna add a Monday night Cyberpunk stream that I'm gonna be streaming on Twitch, the Cyberpunk Lorecast channel. Then I actually get Tuesday off. Wednesday, I'm gonna be streaming a romance-specific game. They're like Mass Effect or Dragon Age or one of the the I Love Colonel Sanders game or that other one.
The KFC finger licking good dating sim or whatever the fuck it was.
Hell yeah, dude! It's so much fun. And I also want to stream Boyfriend Dungeon and stuff like that.
Did anybody see that video I tagged in the Discord that the KFC game reminded me of?
Maybe.
It was a pro
I don't
wrestling.
think so.
It all depends on like
Shoot,
when
no.
I see a link on whether or not I can click on it. So yeah, Wednesday night is a game stream on Two Girls. Thursday night I record Cyberpunk. Friday night is this show, and then Saturday is D&D sessions. Sunday is another D&D game, and then back to Monday. So I've fucking packed myself full. I mean, the
Phrasing.
social calendar full. V, are you ready to do a
Never
show?
stop. No chill.
Yeah, I know. I thought I was like someone who likes to keep myself too busy and overwhelm myself with tasks, but Jen has beat me lately.
She's just flexing her work ethic, and it's
Honestly.
making me feel bad.
More like flexing.
This is
my
late stage
need.
capitalism. Let's just riot.
This is more like flexing my need for distraction from the real world, so I get lost in video games instead. Because fantasy
I feel that.
is better than my life.
So true.
Real world tends to suck out loud more often than not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready to start. I don't think I'm going to be able to edit out these purrs.
Do we have notes for tonight? Or are we just winging it?
That's the only plan I ever have is wing it.
All right.
Do you guys hear him?
Yes.
I can hear
I'm
him
gonna-
loud and clear.
It's literally.
I can almost hear your cat better than I can hear you.
I'm going to just stay muted as much as possible.
Welcome back to another episode of Two Girls, One Ship, the podcast where we analyze, rate, and review all that the world of video game romances has to offer. I'm Jennasis, the girl who really loves escapist games.
Yeah, agreed. I'm Virvada, the girl who preemptively is apologizing for all the times you're going to hear my cat purr throughout this episode. Sorry, he's just so happy. He is baby.
Oh, my mic won't pick up that sound. That's interesting. Too quiet. Too low.
Too low.
My mouths are too low. I am in a mood tonight, you guys. Just be aware. This week has been one of the most roller coastery, stress-inducing, mind-blowing awesomeness, and then all-time fucking lows. It's been the best and the worst week. So yeah. I have beer in hand. We should go around the room and say hi to our lovely, lovely, amazing, awesome fucking patrons. Apollo, you were the first to join in here you are the first on my screen. Does it alphabetize it? Like, what does it do? You're muted. Oh, Discord.
Hello, how's everybody?
Cheers. And Bat Night.
Hello. I'm Daddy Bat Night here from Georgia.
Georgia. Are you first question that I should have started this out tonight. Right now, you guys are experiencing a freaking hurricane. How are you doing out there? Apollo, V, my fellow Floridians?
We're good. It hit Central Florida, went back to the Atlantic. We just got a little wind.
We're far.
Very
We're
little
far
wind.
from it. A little wind, yeah. And clear skies and surprisingly cool weather for late September. It was like 57 degrees the other morning.
I also did text Shenko earlier yesterday, and she's also okay. She's
good. I was messaging her too because I know she lives way closer to where it was, but she's more inland. So by the time it got to her, it was just like a tropical storm-ish.
She also
Tom
texted me.
is the one who.
2 years ago or 3? Was Hurricane Florence 2 years ago or 3?
I think it was in 2018, but I'm not sure.
I think it was a little long. The only reason I ask is because that's the reason I'm in Georgia. We were living in North Carolina when Florence hit, and we lost our place, and so I had to move down here, and we've just made the best of it as is.
Yeah.
That's traumatizing.
So
I'm
we've
really
seen
scared of
pictures
hurricanes.
of the storm going through North Carolina now, and it's like, wow, deja vu.
Chenko also texted me pictures of the horsies. Caden is okay, y'all. He is okay. It's very important.
I worry about him.
I do too.
Him and his messy eating.
Mm. Meiji.
Hello, I have returned. Thank you so much for having me back. Daddy Bat Knight, are you a Falcons fan?
No, not even a little.
Oh, okay.
The closest thing to an actual sport I follow, there's a big clue right above my head.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Makes sense.
Right above his head is that the no. I am sorry. It's not the United States
It's not from the
Championship.
WWE. Mine's real because an old friend ran a local wrestling federation, and when he passed away, the belt went to me.
Oh, that's very sweet.
As far as
that you inherited
possessions
a
go,
belt.
that is probably the biggest prize I have.
As for wrestling fandom, I have a picture of me sitting on Roddy Piper's lap when I was about 3 years old. Yep.
I met Sting about a month ago.
Nice. And Win. Hi, Win.
Hello, how are you guys?
Doing good. I love your voice. I'm so happy you're here tonight. Okay. We have a very interesting topic to get into tonight. Which universe, which world would you want to live in? And all the things that opens up. Like you would have different people or races or species that you could romance. You also have different skills and abilities and magic types that you could work with. Or you can pick a world that's very, very similar to our own, and you just get to live out the tragedy that can involve. So, let's go from the top and find out where Apollo would live.
So, I would live in the Mass Effect universe, but at a very specific time. I want to live in the Mass Effect universe right when we discover the Prothean relic on Mars, and basically we learn that Giorgio Tsoukalos was right all along, and it really was aliens. The amazement and awe of living at that time, at the time when we would actually discover something like that, would be absolutely amazing. It's far enough before the Reaper Wars where I don't have to worry about being killed or collected. I think that would be an amazing time to live in a video game world or real life.
Would you want biotic abilities? Would you get an implant?
I'd take it, sure, absolutely. That's why I almost considered Cyberpunk for the possibility of implants, but that world's just too dangerous. Way too dangerous.
I think living in the Mass Effect universe would be fun. And especially in that time frame, I think we could almost push it up to, like right before or like during the First Contact War, because I would say, no, I'm non-combatant. I'm going to stay on Earth. And then we can figure out how to hang out with the Turians and all the other galactic species. So I would push my time frame up to where we have met aliens. How many... There's a lore question I don't know off the top of my head. How many years were there in between the discovery on Mars and the First Contact War?
Look it up.
I'm curious as to when exactly they started doing biotics.
Oh, that would have been an element 0 exposure. Oh, but Caden was in like the first batch of kids to get it, right?
Because of something exploded over Singapore or something, which is how all those kids got, like all the pregnant women that was how the first biotics happened. It was all by accident. And so a lot of them like probably died because they had too much exposure or whatever. It wasn't like intentional. But that's how like the first ones happened. And then I think the first contact war happened pretty soon after
Yeah, it was only
they went.
like 9 years, 10 years.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
All right.
So just, in those 9 years, it'd be a nice time. And you can just like peace out.
Yeah, agreed. Okay. I would be with Apollo then. Yeah. Hanging out right before we discover it. And then, 10 years is nothing now. I wouldn't be. I guess it just depends on how old I was when we discovered Mars. But yeah. Anyways.
I'd like to be 20 when we discover Mars so I can, be in my prime.
It's a good age. Bat Night. What universe would you live in?
Okay, so as I mentioned, I've been thinking about this a long time. My first knee-jerk reaction was to say something like Spider-Man or the Avengers games or something, because I'm a big comic book nerd. The problem is that's basically just here. So unless I have superpowers, not really that much difference. My next, because of the nickname, was to say Gotham from the Arkham series, because I've always loved the aesthetic of those games. But no, that's a cesspool all the time. And so, yeah. So I went a little outside the box and decided that of all the video games I play, what rules would I love to live my life by? The WWE 2K games. Because, there's so much. It boils down to basically three main things. Everybody in the WWE ring is somebody's definition of gorgeous. And yes, I'm including, what's his name? Otis. Somebody's out there looking for that kind of guy. Number two, you can literally solve all your problems in the ring. You have a problem with somebody, there's no double talk, there's no talking behind your back. Let's get in the ring, punch each other in the mouth, and settle this. They've literally settled a custody battle with a ladder match once upon a time.
Chavo.
And the biggest reason is because no matter where you go, if you go into somewhere, any kind of room of importance, you have entrance music to play you in. And I miss the days when I had that T-shirt that would play sound effects from my chest, because I'd just walk in the room, dun 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 dun. I miss entrance music. So yes, my pick was the WWE games.
You know what? I'll take it. That is unique, and it's there have been romances in WWE for sure.
Oh yeah,
I grew up on it. I am
Matt and Lita, man.
Matt and Lita, well, and then Lita and Jeff, and then Lita and Kane. Trust me, I am
Lita
a
was
Lita
never
girl.
with Jeff. Trish was with Jeff, not Lita.
I will fight you on this. There was a subplot where she was with Jeff for a minute.
Are you watching all the shows on USA that are coming out every weekend about the WWE?
Oh, like the Total Divas and all that, and then Miz and Mrs.
No. Well, no, they dive into like rivalries. They'll dive into one person's career.
Oh yeah, rivalries. I love
great.
that program.
And those are great.
I love that program. Well, I don't watch every episode, just if I gave a rat's rear about the rivalry in question.
Yeah. Lita was my favorite, and I would love to live in a universe where I could talk to her and have her be my best friend. That would be amazing.
I got to meet her, and that was one of the most awkward situations simply because my wife was there, and she told me before I met her that she was just going to stand there and watch because she was waiting on me to say something stupid. So I'm standing there the whole time. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything stupid. Don't do anything stupid. I can find the picture posted on the Discord, but yeah, I've met her. And
I could live in a universe.
I tried
where
to be
I could hang
cool,
out.
but in my head, I'm sitting here going.
I could live in a universe where I could hang out with Scott Hall and walk around and let him flick toothpicks at people. I could deal with that.
Good one.
Rest in peace, Scott Hall.
I have a ton.
Bad guy did good.
I have a ton of wrestling stories, but I will save them for like an after chat, or maybe just post and talk about them in the Discord because we've got a couple more people to talk to tonight. Meiji, where are you gonna live?
I don't know anything about wrestling. You guys are speaking a different fucking language to me, but that's awesome.
Nickel for every time I've been told that.
It's a piece of like nerd culture that I just haven't like quite dived into, and I don't know where to start. I wasn't really into it as a kid, so I just like kind of missed out on that. I don't know. So when I saw the question on Patreon, I initially thought that it was just like, what fictional universe would you live in? And so my immediate thought was Star Trek. Like Star Trek is just everyone living in harmony and just traveling the stars, and everyone gets along and everyone's hot. Like everyone on the Enterprise is sexy. So it's just like, it's a win-win. But then I realized like, oh, this is a video game podcast. We want to know like what fictional video game you would live in, or fictional video game world. I got to thinking, and this is foolproof. The Tony Hawk universe. All anyone cares about is skateboarding. Everyone's skateboarding and grinding rails and kick flipping over cop cars. It's amazing, right? There's no conflict in the Tony Hawk universe other than just like people being like, do a Christ air. And then you just have to do a Christ air for like, 1,000 points and you get a sick mixtape out of the deal. It's amazing. And the reason that I picked this is because every video game that you guys have mentioned up to this point, there's conflict in the universe. In Mass Effect, you're constantly on the run for your life. I mean, you're just like, there's always something going wrong. And in WWE, that seems like it's just always, I mean, like, even outside of the ring, people just fighting all the time. There's always drama. Tony Hawk, just do a sick pop shove it, dude.
And then lay it
That's all you
with
gotta
that
do.
awesome
Those words
soundtrack.
Exactly. Everyone's listening to sick jams.
Me and my sister, that was definitely one of our first PlayStation games that we played together like every day after school. We got so good unlocking all the secret levels. Oh, dude, I miss Tony Hawk.
It's the greatest. There's not like, it's just skateboarding infinite, especially you unlock freestyle mode or whatever. You can just skate around. You try to get the biggest like score multiplier you can.
Mm-hmm.
It's
By
awesome.
holding onto a car bumper and having it take you all across the city. Like, that doesn't work in real life. But
It
in-game
requires
does.
zero focus and zero skill. It's just awesome.
Tony Hawk Underground. That was the shit.
Yeah.
That was definitely the one that I logged the most hours into, was Thug 1. And then of course American Wasteland was also super cool. That's the other thing too, is you get to explore so many different locales in the Tony Hawk game. You get to go in Tony Hawk Underground, you get to go to Moscow, and like you're skating around in Miami, Florida, watching the Dolphins lose, and it's awesome.
You know that they remade them, right? They're
The Tony Hawk's Underground
Mm-hmm.
games, I had heard something about that. I don't really play Tony Hawk anymore. It just seems like a neat universe to live in.
Yeah. Oh, so good. You guys are pulling really good ones tonight. I'm appreciating it. I can hear the music playing in my head, and I'm totally going to be distracted by it, which is awesome.
That was my first thought when he said Tony Hawk. I was like, well, at least you'll have some really good music.
Where can we come live with you?
I was thinking Animal Crossing. It seems like very peaceful, no conflict. And I would be a villager, so whoever owns the island will bend over backwards to try to make sure I'm happy.
That sounds amazing. You can harvest your own crops, grow your own food, collect fossils, and you'd have to learn a new language.
I could probably pick it up. It's like immersion What?
Yeah, no, immersion language.
That's exactly what it's called.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's the best way to learn.
Well, you said there's no conflict, but I mean, in Animal Crossing, there is conflict. And you know what it is? You go to Jolly Reds and you buy a painting, and then it's freaking fake when you get it home.
Not only that, but there's class struggles in Animal Crossing thanks to
There you go,
Tom
too.
Nook's
The
ridiculous
rent
economy.
is always due.
Oh damn! You can't escape it.
Also, in the older Animal Crossings, if you shut the game off, you guys remember Rossetti? Like,
Oh,
did you ever
yeah.
play the older one? Yeah.
Mm.
That bitch would yell at you for so long. And I'm like, what freaking developer put this in here? And I was like, you bitch, you didn't save. Like, I'm a kid. Okay? I know why they got rid of him. He was very judgy.
But you also get to build your own museum, and you can go sit in the peaceful aquarium and just looking at all the fishies. Or going and seeing amazing fossils and classic works of art. Oh, and then the insect section. While I'm not the biggest insect fan, it would still be super cool to know that they're over there and they can't touch me. But still to go look at them.
I think it'd be cool to be like KK. Was it KK Slider? Is that the little dog's name? And just be KK Slider and tour the little islands and just play horrible guitar.
Is there a specific Animal Crossing you want to live in, or just the newest one? Or
I've only played New Horizons. So I haven't played the old
Gotcha.
ones. Like when COVID came out, and that was all the craze. That was when the COVID came out. When COVID happened.
When the COVID came out. Yeah, I hate that
new
edition
COVID
of
dropped.
the game. Dear Lord.
Can I ask for a
I love that it
refund?
came out. Honestly, though, but like that game came out at the perfect time. Thank you, Animal Crossing New Horizons. We needed you.
Agreed. Major agree. V, what do you think we start doing our mid-break dance, and then we'll come back and talk about
Okay.
where we want to live?
Boop, boop.
Mid-break dance.
awkward dancing.
Yay.
Commence. We're gamers, not dancers.
Exactly. Very much so.
I was busting out the Carlton, man, keeping it classic.
Couldn't tell.
Oh, I
You're
can
doing it
dance.
well.
You can dance.
You can dance.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
You can dance if you want to.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll be the friend you leave behind because I can't dance.
Safety dance.
Oh, we're gonna dance, V. We're gonna dance.
I'm slightly more the vocal than I am the dancer.
Yeah. I was like, I will definitely sing and I will like do the Garrus, but that's it.
Oh, lordy. I could definitely tangent on that.
Isn't that the
'cause-
shepherd?
Yeah, there's the Shepherd Shuffle, and then there's the Renegade Shepherd, and I don't know who has video of the Renegade Shepherd dance, but it exists. Yeah. Mid-break. I should pull up some notes so that way we can thank our lovely, lovely, lovely patrons. I checked earlier today, and we don't have any new reviews. We do have 19 5-star ratings on iTunes, and that is so very much appreciated. I would love to see one more. So if you are sitting at home right now, listening to us on iTunes or Apple Podcasts or anything like that, just click on the little Jennasis and Virvada tag, the little 2 girls 1 ship tag, and then the 5 stars. Make sure all the little stars are pretty lit up, and boom, make our days and make us super happy. Super duper happy. You don't even have to really like listen to us on iTunes. As long as you have the app or you have it downloaded on your computer and you just create an account, and then you can leave a 5-star rating and make me super happy. Because I like being happy.
Yes. Make me happy. Man. If you don't, you'll make my depression worse. Just kidding.
No pressure.
That's a little threatening.
That took a dark turn.
Yeah. Just kidding. Just whatever you want. Just don't tell me if it's bad, and I don't want to know.
You can email me at 2girls1ship@gmail.com and let me know all the bad things, because I will read it, and then I will filter it and give it to V in a much more palatable way.
Thank you. I'm so sensy. Too sensy to be on the internet, but here I am.
I know. I dragged you kicking and screaming to do this show with me, and I appreciate you so much for it.
You kind of did at the beginning, actually, because that was during the month when this show first came out. I was working full-time, finishing my master's degree, and my kid was still full-time at home with me. And then you were like, let's do this podcast and release it right now. And I was like, oh, I really want to, but I feel like I'm dying. But then somehow it worked out. And that was only a month of me doing all those things. So then when I graduated, I just had a job and a kid and a podcast instead of a job, a kid, a podcast, and a degree.
Yeah.
So yay.
I did. I was
It's fine now.
It was literally like the 1st of October. I was like, hey, want to do a romance podcast? I want to release it for N7 Day. Let's do everything in under a month.
I mean, we made it happen. The first episode don't sound pretty, but we made it happen.
It doesn't sound pretty. But we also
I know. Sometimes I'm like, we should re-record it. But then I'm like, we'll lose the magic of the first one. So
we will lose the
just
magic.
Deal with it.
And the fact, even if we did re-record it, we would lose that initial reaction to the clam jammer. And that was so moment building for like who we are that we can't go back.
I know.
You called it a taco turnoff.
Yeah, that came out right in my head from right here.
Yep.
That's honestly, I was like, I thought that's where you're going with it. I'd never heard clam jammer before. But I needed alliteration.
Yep. Well, since then.
Anyway, thank you, everybody.
We have been able to upgrade our equipment. We have been able to provide a better streaming, a better recording, a better podcast overall, thanks to our patrons. And I will call out the names of those of our biggest supporters, most of which are here tonight. Toasty and Apollo, Shenko, Mystios, Luke, Win, That Night, and Meiji Moose. We thank you. From the bottom of our giant romance-filled hearts, we thank you. Maya is also here to thank you.
Hi, Maya. I can say thank you in a couple languages if you want. Merci beaucoup. Komawayo. And that's it. I thought I knew Spanish, but I drew a blank because I drank too much wine. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Gracias.
You forgot gracias.
Yeah, I forgot gracias. That's how much wine I've had, okay? I don't know how I remember
ASL.
French.
I a thing or two.
Yeah. I used to be fluent in Korean, and now I could barely order coffee. It's fine. Such is life.
I used to always say I know just enough Spanish to get me in trouble.
But not enough to get me out of it. Let's All right. No. I said, and let's get back into it. So now, where do we want to live, V?
Sorry, I saw a dog. I muted so you didn't have to hear my doggy. But then I just told you about it, so there's no point. Anyway, where I would want to live. So I had a hard time with this at first because obviously I was drawn to like the big games that we talk about all the time. And I've been replaying Fallout because we just finished Fallout 4. And so my mind is like obsessed with Hancock right now. And I was like, I'm going to live there so I can be with my ghoul. And I'm like, no, that would be the worst place to live in the entire world. I love him so much. It's not even funny. Anyway, not going to live there. So then I was like, where would I want to live? And just like Meiji and Win, I was like, I'm going to live somewhere where there's no fighting. Because why would I want to move somewhere where I have to fight for my life? I couldn't. I would die instantly. And I came up with Harvest Moon, Another Wonderful Life, which is a 2003 GameCube game. The first one was Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life for GameCube, and that was like the boy version. And Another Wonderful Life was a different copy of the game that you played as a girl farmer. And that to me already was just amazing that I could be a girl farmer. Obviously, from our 2022 eyes, we're like, they released 2 separate games. Like, why couldn't they just put it in the same game? I don't know.
Make sure you buy the girl DLC.
Yeah, no, like it was a completely separate game. A Wonderful Life and Another Wonderful Life. And the girl one was Another Wonderful. I distinctly remember the way the farm was set up, and like the barn and the field was right there off the barn, and like your hay would grow and you'd cut it, and it was just so beautiful and peaceful, because that was one of the Harvest Moon games that they really tried to make realistic versus super cartoony. And obviously it would probably look terrible now, but back then I was like, my baby mind was blown. It's like, that's real. And there was like this crazy scientist guy named Daryl. You couldn't romance him. You could get married back then. There was only 3 options for this game. But I loved Daryl. You couldn't, like I said, you couldn't romance him, but I visited him every day. And he had these science experiments. He was like a non-alcoholic Rick Sanchez, basically. And I loved him so much. But I befriended him. And he taught my kids science. I would want to live there. It was very peaceful. I could still hear like the music and the little birds chirping and my cow mooing when I milked her or brushed her. Such a good time. I would live there.
That sounds like a lot of fun and like very, very peaceful.
There's work, but it's just honest work. You know, raising cows and chickens and crops. Although I was always more of an animal person. I don't really like crops.
Okay. So I have 2 very, very different options to go here with this. And I don't know where I want to live, because I played so much Lord of the Rings Online. Like, that was a huge game for me for like years. And so to live in a Tolkien universe and to have elves and even the orcs and the Uruk-hai, but you know, I could hang out with hobbits and get some really, really good shit, you know? I could totally see myself living in Middle Earth. But then I need more. I don't know if I could live in that peaceful world. As we talked about before the show started, I love chaos. I love busy. I love excitement and motion. And I really think I would live in Night City. I think I could do it. I could handle it. I would be like borderline psychosis level cybered up because obviously I would want to protect myself. But the fact that that the city never sleeps, there's always something going on. I could join a gang if I wanted to. I could, you know, I could keep my accounting job and work for Arasaka. Like, I could see myself.
No! Don't work for Arasaka.
Why not?
Stop it right there.
I like that you listed joining a gang as like a big plus for this world. Like, I could join a gang, get my gang colors on point.
I'm just saying, if she wanted to.
Yeah,
the option's
if the
there.
option is there.
Hey, there were
It's
gangs
there.
in my game world too. I'm just saying. We just called them things like the NWO.
Exactly. So, I mean, I have history with it. Like, you know, I don't know which one that I would join, though. Because...
Oh, the Moxes. I would join them.
Okay.
So
that
fast.
is a very fair point.
That was me.
And I was actually
You didn't know which one you'd go, but V knew which one you'd go.
I literally got so mad when I realized you couldn't get their tattoos on your character in the game. I was like, their tattoos are the cutest. All of their outfits are the cutest. I wanted all their stuff, and you couldn't get it, and it pissed me off.
I went with the Valentino's tattoos.
Yeah, that was good too.
I was like, those are good ones. But
I
so I was
with them.
actually talking about this, like, who would you be if you lived in Cyberpunk? Like, what kind of person would you be? And I was like, you know what? Honestly, I could see myself working at Clouds. Like, if it really boiled down to it, I would work at Clouds. I can do the therapy thing. I think I'm a pretty good listener, and I can talk you through your problems.
You got a
What if I have to
bone,
put
though,
out
too?
every once in a while? Fuck. I mean, that's like the other half
Therapy
of my
sex.
life. Yeah. I will be your sex therapist and your therapy sex.
All in one. Buy one, get one free.
I'm having to literally bite my lip.
I wanted to say I killed Jen.
Ow. No, dude, I took a
Child's
sip of
play.
beer right when you said that, and it almost came out my nose, and so then I had to like sit there and be like, swallow, swallow, and then I'm cracking myself up because I'm telling
Amazing.
myself to swallow, and it was making it worse. Okay?
You'd have to tell yourself to swallow too if you worked at Clouds.
Yeah,
Thank you. She said it. I didn't have to.
that was my first thought. Yeah. I like Cyberpunk, but when you were talking about Elder Scrolls, that was when Meiji was saying I'm sorry, Elder Scrolls. Oh my god, Lord of the Rings Online. Forget me. But when Meiji was talking about like just any universe, and he said Star Trek, that was me. I was like, I just want to be a hobbit. Like, I want to be an elf, but I'm more like a Samwise Gamgee hobbit who wants to be an elf. That's just I would love that. But then I kind of picked that with Harvest Moon too, like basically a hobbit life. But yeah. And also,
If you live in the right time as
Star
a
Trek
hobbit, you're gonna have peace. Nobody even
for
knows
so
you.
long.
Most of the world doesn't even know you exist.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I discussed it with while I was trying to figure out which game mine was. I discussed options with my wife, and one of the first ones I mentioned was The Witcher,
Hmm.
and because it's always been like a goal of mine to hunt monsters, saving people, hunting things. Total different reference, but she looked at me and went, "Won't that only work if you are a Witcher?" And I was like, "Yeah."
Mm-hmm. I was like, everyone else seems to be doing real bad at life. Like everyone's always at war. Every town you go through is just like burnt to the ground, or everyone's sick and sad. So you would have to be a Witcher.
My luck doesn't tend to be that well. Like everything I thought of was like, "Hey, I want to be Mass Effect." Well, I don't know if I'd have those powers. Hey, I want to do the Witcher world. Well, I don't know if I'd have those abilities.
That's
why I was trying to think of like. See, but then here's the thing with Cyberpunk, because I thought about Cyberpunk too, but I'm just like thinking of the lowest class, most bad off person. What's their life like? Just in case, if I ended up in that world, I'm not a celebrity, I'm not rich, like I'm going to be middle class or lower in this world probably. And Cyberpunk, you don't really have a good life, and I just hate the fact that there's no like plants anywhere. Everything is so dead. Water is hard to come by. It's not a post-apocalyptic scenario, but it's also like heavily climate change future that scares me. So I really don't want to live in there,
Night City would be so exciting, but man, you could just walk around the corner and somebody could shoot you in the face.
Yeah, I mean, have you read like the ads about the pharmacy and stuff? Like when the automated system comes down and will accidentally shoot you if you're ducking right. Plus, if you ever look down at any ground inside, there's just roaches everywhere. Freaking cockroaches just all over the place. All over. And then someone on the news, like on the loading screens, will say they found a half-eaten burrito in their couch and they put it in a microwave and all it did was kill the cockroaches, but hey, it's food. That is not a place I'm interested in living in. No, thank you.
That's why I'm going to work at Clouds, where I'm provided my own room in a safe, clean area.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got it. Now, I would like to say that Stone Mystios, who is here in the live stream chat tonight, but wasn't able to join us on the actual stream for the night. You are one of our patrons, so I will call this out for you. Mystios would live in Fable or Elder Scrolls, an Elder Scrolls world. And I think that would also be super fun because Fable is another one of those old school type. I claim it to be like a medieval setting. It is definitely an older setting game. But I don't remember a whole lot of poor people. Like you could be pretty well off in it. And then Elder Scrolls.
I mean, they were, but they all seem to be kind of jolly about it.
Yeah, they were happy people. They were happy poor people. And then Elder Scrolls. Oh, I guess it would depend on which one.
That's the thing that's hard about games is like almost all of them, because it's a story that you're taking place in, it's happening at a time, it sucks for everyone else because you have to be the hero. And so unless you're the hero, I don't know if I want to live there. And even if you are the hero, I don't really want to necessarily have much pressure on me. Like, just want to chill and do my thing. So, hence Harvest Moon.
Again, that was
And
part
there's
of the
no
reason
like.
I picked up. Sorry.
So I was just gonna say, there's no Tom Nook asking for 2 million goddamn bells in Harvest Moon. Okay, he is a crook.
Wasn't he a
I
raccoon?
Sorry, go ahead, buddy.
I was just asking, wasn't the character she was mentioning a raccoon?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, crook.
Tom Nook he's a tanuki technically.
Yeah.
Which is a raccoon dog in Japan.
I was gonna say that I was really trying to get a rating and review on Apple Podcasts before the episode ended, but I think my use of the word clam jammer might have flagged the review, so now it's not going through. But we'll see if next episode it pops up.
So
I wanted to get you guys to 20, the big Twin Zoni before the episode was over.
Oh, I appreciate that, and I can check really quick, but it does take 24 hours for your review to show up on the iTunes thing, so it does go through a little bit of their own review process to make sure that you're not just like, fuck these bitches, and that's your whole comment. They will block some of those, if it's clearly derogatory. But then it takes a couple of days for it to actually hit us and let us know that a review has come in.
That makes sense. I was like, maybe just somebody was just like, did he just call the host of the show clam jammers? I don't think that's very nice. Delete.
That'll be good when we have it, and hopefully it is up before we do a certain guest star. But we'll get to that in a minute. So thank you guys so much for coming out tonight, hanging out with us, and sharing what universe, what world you would love to live in. I guess we didn't ask the obvious question for tonight. With each of us choosing such a different style of game, would you romance a character in your universe? So let's go with yes or no and what in a really quick little outro for us.
Oh,
Apollo?
pick one.
Yep, you have to pick one. Apollo?
Absolutely. Oh man. I'll go with it. I'll go with Aquarian. The mystery.
I was like, you are a tallymancer. You would totally go with Aquarian.
Yeah, it's like I literally was like tally, but I was like, oh yeah, he said when they discovered the Prothean beacon on Mars, so Tally's not around. I don't think Quarians are around humans yet, anyway. Not for a while.
I would want to be 20 right then.
That's true.
And then in this world, you can live to be probably 130, 140. So I got time.
You got time to sweep Tally off her feet and steal her away from Shepard and Garrus. Apollo's the guy that now works in the engineering room and is totally safe from everything. He's working behind the scenes. You just don't see him on the Normandy. That's where you're at.
Although I would probably die in the second game. At the end of the beginning of the second game. I don't know. I just feel like I would.
Oh, but then you don't get to romance Tally. You have to make it to 2.
It's true. That's true. I'll find a way. I'll just accidentally not be on the ship.
You were on shore leave. And you're on shore leave when the collectors come, and I don't know how you're gonna make it past returning to Earth. You can figure that one out on your own.
Right. Well, once I romance Tally, that's all good. I've lived my life. So from there on, it's just bonus time.
Love it. Bat Knight, who would you romance in the world of the WWE?
Well, that's really, really difficult. because I have a lot of favorites throughout WWE. But since I specified 2K22, I was sitting here going, "Crap, who's in that game? Oh no!" I think I'd either have to go Becky Lynch or Asuka.
All right. Becky,
Either got a red Irish lass kicker, or I got the Japanese Empress of Tomorrow. So
Becky's the man, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I agree.
although for now there was a whole thing she can't use that nickname, or she couldn't for a while. I don't know if that's still a thing, but so she went with Big Time Bex and was doing like the wrestling equivalent of Lady Gaga, which I absolutely hated. But it's not in this game. So
Good. No. So for you guys that don't know, Becky is a truly powerful, badass woman. And so she just came out and was like, forget you, dude. I'm the man. Like I'm
there's
the
a long time
shit.
expression
I'm the
in wrestling:
man.
if to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Did she take China?
She started going around saying that she was the man. She was the one to beat. She's now married to Seth Rollins, so there's that. But yeah.
China's
Did she take China down though?
No.
Sorry?
Rest in peace, China. Joni Lowry.
All right.
Meiji Moose. Who would you romance in your universe?
Well, I think Daddy Bat and I just confirmed that he doesn't like Lady Gaga, and so now I'm trying to figure out how to kick him out of the Discord call. But in terms of the Tony Hawk universe, I think I gotta go with Tony Hawk himself, right? I mean, he's the most memorable face from the games. He's a fucking gajillionaire, and I get to skate the half pipe in the backyard every now and again, so that's a bonus.
Agreed.
He seems like a cool dude. Sorry.
No.
He just seems like a cool dude.
I gotta be honest, I've listened to him on a couple podcasts, and he seems like the most boring motherfucker on the planet, but to skate with him would be pretty cool.
He does seem boring, but in like a chill way. Like you'd never fight with him over anything.
Mhm.
You'd never get into the arguments or anything like that. He'd just be like, yeah, that's cool.
He's also, I think, getting pretty dang close to like his mid-60s, I think.
Yeah.
So
Did you
it's
see
okay
that?
it's okay if he's a little boring.
Yeah. Did you see the documentary about him on HBO?
I did not.
It's good, and that's why I was because in that documentary, I'm just like, he just seems so calm and chill.
He's a very
so
down-to-earth
easygoing.
guy. I think breaking several bones over the course of your life, like multiple times each, probably has that
Literally.
effect on you.
Literally down to earth.
You got anything that you want to shout out?
Oh, yes. So tomorrow are we going to talk about this? Should we talk about this?
Go for it.
Tomorrow I am interviewing none other than the special hosts that we have tonight, Jennasis and Virvada, for a show that I do called Storm Sorcerer Media. 8 a.m. on Monday morning, that episode will be going out with the interview with them too. So keep an eye out for that. Subscribe to the Storm Sorcerer Media YouTube channel. And I love you guys.
We love you too. When you said 8 a.m., I was like, I did not sign up for an 8 a.m. interview. I need to change that immediately.
That's when the show's coming out. Oh, and by the way, I actually should mention that 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, or no, excuse me, on what day is it? 8 a.m. on Sunday morning, I am premiering a pilot on Storm Sorcerer Media for a show called Dicey Subject, which is a tabletop role-playing game news show. So it'll go over like the past week in like events in the world of tabletop role-playing games. If that's something that interests you, listeners of TGOS, check the dang show out.
I love it. I love TGOS.
And with that intro, how can I not?
Storm Sorcerer Media has a lot of different shows in the pipeline, and Meiji's working on a lot of them. I listen to the Storm Sorc podcast every week. I've been a patron since day one. I know, right? It's a good name. Patron of yours since day one. Support the supporters. show all the love in all the circles. And yes, very much who would you romance in Animal Crossing?
I'm gonna have to pass.
I was just like, wait a minute. Those are all aminals. We don't want to romance aminals.
Trap question.
That's awkward.
What about just who's your best friend, in the town?
I gotta get in with Tom Nook, get the hookup. You know what I mean?
Mine is Bones. I love Bones. He's so cute and so dumb. He calls me poop.
You can also romance yourself and just have a really good self-love and self-reflection time. Or, if your partner also has his own little dude running around, like if he's got his own separate house on the island, I will give you a pass and say that you will romance your boyfriend in game. That works. Oh. V, who would you romance in Harvest Moon?
I was about to say, I definitely, you already know what I would choose for Fallout, because I already said. I just worry that it would be like a one and done situation. My only two options for having sex with Hancock: die of radiation poisoning or become a superhero. And I hope it's the latter. But for Harvest Moon, in that game specifically, there's only 3 marriage options. One, his name is Rock, and he's an actual child, so he's off the table. He looks like an actual child. And then there's one called Gustava, I think, and he's like this hippie guy with this hat with a flower in it, and he was weird. So I had to pick Marlon. He's like this big, grumpy guy, reminiscent of the husband in Kiki's Delivery Service, where like he just doesn't talk that much and he doesn't really like anything. But when you get on his good side, he's just this big sweetie. So that's who I married. So that's who I would romance. I guess I just like guys who seem mean at first. That's my husband. He has like an aura, but he's actually very nice.
Garrus starts out that way too. I need to kill Dr. Hart. I need to take down Saren. And then it's like,
he also looks like a velociraptor, so very off-putting at first. And then you're like, do I have a monster kink? I don't know. Maybe I do.
Did you know that there's a monster fucker pride flag? It is orange and purple and black striped flag, and it's got a tentacle, and then it's
okay. I need it.
Okay, so
me and Cloudy were talking about this because both Cloudy and I have almost the exact same romance choices, and we both were like, none of them are human. Well, for her, one is she romanced Cullen and Inquisition, and I did. None of mine are human, so I'm like, do I have a thing? Do I have a thing? I don't know. Do I have a thing? I don't know. We'll see.
It is an emoji in the 2 Girls 1 Ship Discord channel. So if you see the pretty little orange and purple flag with a tentacle on it, that is the monster fucker flag. And I use it quite often on quite a few different Discords that I'm in.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah.
Also, orange and purple. What a look. Halloween Town.
For
love
sure.
it.
As for who I would romance in Night City, I am taking a trip around Jig Jig and then fucking the shit out of Johnny. I don't know how we're going to make it work, but I will figure out a way to we'll make it work.
I guess just masturbate.
Yeah, but I want more. I want a lot
more. I
do
too. Did you see
when Johnny was alive?
I know.
I could go back to when Johnny was alive. And then, but
he only likes alt. So you're either going to be just a nameless face groupie or alt, who I don't really like how she ends up. So not going to be her.
That have a brain dance sex tape out.
That's true.
It's not easy being a heartbreaker.
Yeah. I'm kind of bummed. Just, okay, really quick tangent. Famous last The announcement, like trailer for the Cyberpunk DLC that's coming out next year, like they finally showed us that thing. I can't remember what it's called, but I was this entire time being like, it's going to be after the game. It's going to be like a little sequel DLC, and it doesn't look like it is because Johnny's still in your head. And that pissed me off because I wanted to romance him in the DLC as a separate body. But I don't know how they would do that. So I guess I just needed to manage my expectations.
Could be flashbacks. You never know.
Could be. There was like this one scene in it where there's something like blowing up and you see Johnny standing there and he's flickering like he did when he's in your mind. And so I was like, is it before the end of the game then? This DLC? I don't know. Johnny standing there and he's flickering like he did when he's in your mind.
You gotta just accept. Johnny will fuck you, but he's not gonna love you.
I think somebody's listening to the live stream.
Sorry, me. I was computer issues.
Oh, okay. It's all good.
Got it fixed.
You're right, Meiji, but I am that person who's like, I can change him. I'll be the key to unlocking his heart. It will be me.
Oh no, Johnny
which is
just talks
wrong.
about how amazing he is at sex, and I want to experience it.
That too. That confidence,
Did y'all see
though.
the interview with Keanu Reeves talking about the fact that people are wanting to romance his character in Cyberpunk?
Oh yeah, no, there was a full interview about, and like it was him and it was Keanu Reeves and
Carrie-Anne Moss.
Thank you. I kept going Arya, but well, same answer,
Really?
not actually the same thing. We're talking about it, and Johnny was like, they were telling him, hey, they were telling Keanu that they have.
I was going to say, you called him Johnny.
I did. They have modded the game so that way a romanceable character appears with your body model. How do you feel about modders wanting to fuck you in the game? He's like, I'm cool with it. I think it's great.
That's beautiful.
Like, it's beautiful. Go for it. But then Carrie-Anne Moss was like, no, please don't. Do not disrespect my physical form. I am not a romance option for you. And so like she was like, no, please don't do that. And so if I find out that you're modding it so that way you've made her a romance option in your game, I'm gonna go shame on you, because this is somebody saying, please don't do that to me, and you're doing it to them anyways. But fuck Keanu or Johnny all you want, in the best way.
I'm sure it would be breathtaking. Nobody got that joke?
Archangel playing in the background. Oh, all right. I
didn't know she was in Is she in Cyberpunk? Carrie-Anne Moss? Or was that for the Matrix game?
I think it was for the Matrix game that they were talking about it, but they were talking about like, would you like it if your body model was used as a romance option when that wasn't originally planned in the game for her question.
Yeah. That's like a whole ethical thing, I think. Face is the deep fakes and like people using your image for stuff that maybe you didn't know was gonna be a part of getting your image taken.
Mm-hmm. Or revenge
like CGI
porn.
image. Yeah,
We
already have that.
Yeah, like when the guy that you broke up with in high school decided to steal your MySpace pictures and Photoshop your face onto old BDSM pictures that had absolutely nothing to do with you, and then email them out to multiple people throughout the high school about, look at the pictures that I took the other night.
This sounds oddly specific. Who is the man I
You beat
need
me
to
by
kill?
like 1 second. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, just drop a name. In 2 weeks, I'll be there and I'll find him and do nothing to him because I am a weakling, but I will want to.
No, it's fine. Karma has already bit him in his giant, massive, gaping asshole, so I don't care about it anymore. It's just a story that I will share.
That was also oddly specific. Thank God.
I think
I'm really glad
the
that
show on
Karma has that.
Giant gaping assholes. Hey.
I wanted to change my vote for my wrestling romance, though. I thought of something while we were talking, and I didn't want to interrupt.
I saw that in chat. Yes, Alexa Bliss.
Yes. I don't know why she slipped my mind, but yeah, so much so.
Because when you're put on the spot, you think of the first thing that comes to mind and not necessarily the one that you really wanted to go with.
Yes.
I get that all the time. I did not think that I would be talking about massive gaping assholes today, but here we are.
At the massive gaping assholes.
Oh, I have an image.
The image from early internet
yes!
days. Yeah.
I was literally just about to say that. I was like, I come from the 2 girls, 1 cup era, hence the name of our podcast. So I can imagine what you're describing because that was the bad times.
Mm-hmm.
When there was no like censoring or dark web or whatever.
So I'll edit this part out. But it has been really bad lately when talking on, because I'm part of the Dragon Age Lorecast Patreon, and whenever I see She Cup and Teacup together, my brain flips a switch, and because I'm looking at the 2 cups. So whenever I talk about our fucking show, I go, and I'm Jennasis from the 2 Cups, 1 Girl podcast. And I'm like, that's not the name of my show at all. That's not even the name of the porn. So where is this coming from? Because it's the 2, it's not 2 cups. Exactly. Words is hard. And especially when I see both of them in the same little chat room. So hopefully by the next time that we all, the 4 of us get together, I don't talk about 2 cups and 1 girl.
What's she gonna do with all those cups?
2 cups and 1 bad mental image.
2 cups, only 1 girl. What's she gonna do?
That's Madonna.
Well,
Sorry.
I will dear.
80s reference for the win.
V, please lead us to the outro. I'm done.
I just had a cough attack because if I laugh too hard, I cough. COVID? I don't really know. Ow. Okay, if you like what you're hearing. Wait, did you put it? Okay. Wait, that's your line. You can. Are you ready? Can you?
Yeah.
Or do you
I'm
want me
good.
to? Do you want to flip? Okay.
No, let's flip the script. Let's flip it. You read
Okay. Okay, I'll read you. If you like what you're hearing, please be sure to leave a review on iTunes, give us a rating on Spotify, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find me in our 2 Girls, 1 Ship chat on the Robots Radio Discord channel. And please come give us a follow on all the social medias and on Patreon at 2 Girls, 1 Ship. Links, of course, are in the description.
And I'm on the Robots Radio Discord as well, and on our own 2 Girls, 1 Ship Discord server where we nerd out on all of our favorite CGI significant others. Be sure to check out our live streams on Twitch on Wednesdays and Fridays at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, and watch the YouTube video a few days after the stream. Our podcast episodes release on Mondays because you need at least one good thing on a Monday.
So thanks for listening. And remember,
beauty is in the eye of the controller. Yeah. I don't think I've said that line since like episode 1.
I know.
For the record, I've always loved that line.
Beauty
I remember
is in
from
the eye of the
moment 1
controller.
hearing that the first time, I was like, that's clever.
Which one of your friends came up with that, Jen? Because it was one of your friends, right?
No, it was us.
Was it us? Oh, I don't remember.
It was me.
Oh, it was you?
Yeah.
It was Jen. She's clever. I remember when we first started, because Jen had made this list of like possible podcast names.
They were horrible.
And
they were horrible.
A lot of them were not great, and some of them were good. And this one just stuck out to us, so we just thought it was funny, and we kept it.
I bet you.
And we're definitely not the only podcast to have done that, because I recently got one suggested to me on Spotify called 2 Girls, 1 Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's like a ghost podcast or something. I was going to look at or listen to it.
That was the second result when I went to go look you guys up on Apple Podcasts to review. It was the second thing that popped up was 2 Girls, 1 Ghost. I was like, wonder what that is.
That might be the only other one that has like a two girls, one something name. And then there was another video game romance podcast that I found a while after we started, but they seem to not be active anymore.
Yeah.
And they did I was like, oh no, because they were slightly before us. And I was like, oh no, do they think we copied them or something? Because I had no idea they existed. And then I listened to some of their episodes, and they did like a completely different way than what we do. So I'm like, okay, never mind. I feel better about this. I was worried that we like unintentionally. Yeah, yeah, we definitely do it different. Theirs was more of like a fan, like what we do on Patron chats, basically, where we just talk about how we feel about it. Whereas our normal episodes are a lot more analytical because that's my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm curious, Jen. How many of the references I made do you actually recognize? Or how much stuff do I need to post in the Discord?
I got most of them.
Do you know who the girls were I was talking about?
Wait, what was the line again?
I either mentioned Becky Lynch, Asuka, or Alexa Bliss. I didn't know if you knew who any of them were.
I know who Becky is because I saw her when they were in Portland. But no, I'm not like up to date on my WWE lore. I'm a WWE.
I'm wearing a
You give me
WWE
80s,
reference.
90s, to early 2000s wrestling lore, I gotcha. But after about 2010, I'm lost.
I had a guy actually at work yesterday ask me, somehow wrestling got brought up, and he said something about, Hardys. And I said, yeah, I was a fan for a very long time. And he said, well, there was those other brothers. Who were they? And he's like, I think Undertaker and Kane, they were real brothers, right? I'm like, no, Glenn Jacobs and Mark Calloway were not actually related. He looked at me and went, you know their names? I went, yeah. Said,
Well, yeah, Glenn
wow,
Jacobs
you are
is now
a fan of this
mayor
crap,
of his
aren't you?
town.
He is. And I met him like 2 weeks before he got elected.
Nice.
I met him at a convention, and I was telling myself the whole time, I'm going to haggle. And then he stood up with that mask on, stood up and went over to shake my hand. I looked up at him and went, nope. He said, no, what does that mean? I was like, it's not important. Nope.
My wrestling era started like when the Von Erichs were around. Like that's where I go back to starting my wrestling stuff.
V, why can't I find our original list of
Wait,
podcast names?
When left?
Oh,
I said bye.
bye, Win.
She was waving. I don't know. I didn't delete it. Is it in done?
I'm looking there. You know what? It might be actually in my folder.
I find it hysterical how my wrestling origin story, I hated it too. I couldn't stand it. I remembered because back then, the only time they came on was like on Saturdays. So my dad would always take the TV away to watch wrestling. And I was like, I want to watch my cartoons. I don't want to watch a bunch of guys, in their underwear, nobody wearing pants fighting over a belt.
Okay, I found it because it's in my personal drive because I had originally thought that it was going to be a solo show. Okay, so here we go. Original names for Two Girls, One Ship. Okay.
Oh, thought it'd be good.
Yep. Love, Lust, and Lore. Love.
Take that one.
All right, I'm going to go through the whole list. Okay. Love, Lust, or Lore. So it would be like a marry, fuck, or kill. That's what I was going for there. Two Girls, One Ship, a review of relationships in video games. That First Kiss. Naughty Bits. Ship of Fools. Ships and Dip, which there's a story behind that one.
Ships and Dip?
Yep. Relationships and dip, like it was going to be like a me and a girlfriend sitting down together and like eating and talking about relationships. It was, no. There's a reason that this is a test line. Garrist is the best waifu. That was not my idea. Naughty Bites. Will our love survive the end of this game? A game of ships. Beauty is in the eye of the controller. Two gals, a ship, and a podcast. Romance in the virtual world. Love in a Digital World.
Wait, did you actually just reference Two Girls, a Guy, in a Pizza Place? Are you going that route?
I was actually thinking that too.
I like that show.
Yeah. I pulled from a lot of different references trying to think of this. Love. Sorry, there's like a couple more. Love in a Digital World. But what would that look like? A romance review cast. Yes. A romance review podcast. Or then, obviously, I added these two after I found out that once Virvada agreed to be in the show. Virginia, a romance lore cast. Or, my personal favorite, the Virginia logs.
Wait, I never heard those ones.
Oh yeah, you didn't get my Virginia vagina monologues? The Virginia logs?
I love it.
I was ready to say,
Oh my God.
like,
So
love,
good.
digitally.
Hmm?
Instead of like love actually, love digitally.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
It's just so close to Heidi's book, Digital Love.
Yeah.
But I like it. I mean, obviously, we're TGOS. TGOS. I love that you have a nickname for us. Cute.
TGOS. Naughty Bits isn't bad either. Naughty Bits is actually, I think it's a pretty cool name.
Everybody loves Naughty Bits.
Naughty Bits and Naughty Bites is what actually led me to Heidi McDonald of the Digital Love book, because the name of her article is Naughty Bites, as in like BYTES, as in like a digital bite. So that kind of led everything. That's what started it. It was Naughty Bites. Actually, it started because Sam said that he wouldn't touch a Turian with a 10-foot pole, and I was like, but I want to touch the Turians, and so that's how that got started. And then I started making this list, and that's where it was like, okay, like Mass Effect Lorecast, I'm gonna make this about Mass Effect romances. Like I had like Shepard is a whorecast, you know.
True.
Like, well, Shepard is a lore cast, so Shepard is a whore. And then I was like, ooh, we could go off of like Mean Girls, because my favorite line is "Boo, you whore."
Boo, you whore.
Yes.
I knew it. Yeah. And then she asked me to do it, and I was like, yes, all of the games, all of these things I've been thinking of since I was a kid. And she was like, whoa. Because I didn't know at the time that Jen was like a recent BioWare like person, fan, conscript, devotee.
Yes, I think I'm pretty deep
like,
in it now. I mean, shit.
Yeah, you are.
Crazy.
I think you probably played Mass Effect more than I have, and I played it when it first came out.
I'm glad. Yeah. So in preparation for tomorrow, I've been like kind of re-listening to some of the older episodes, and I remember at some point you guys mentioning one of you guys was a newbie to this, but I couldn't remember which one it was.
It's Jen.
Clarify that. That's wild, man.
What you said, Lord of the Rings Online, isn't it? Like Jen played Legendary Edition. That was like the first time she played Mass Effect, and she played Dragon Age for the first time. Is it this year? Like earlier this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just recently found this out because I was asking for her advice on something with Dragon Age, and she's like, "Look, dude, I only got through this like one time."
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to talk to the Cups. You need to talk to the Cups about Dragon Age. I mean, I guess you could talk to me because I have read all the books and the comics and played all the games.
Back and forth between
that's fine.
Rage quitting and whatnot. Dragon Age has pretty much been the only game I've gotten a chance to play because my wife is still commandeered our PlayStation with Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
So we've come to an agreement that I'm
if
not
you're gonna ask
grief about that anymore, because once Gotham Knights hits, then I'm taking it back.
Mm-hmm. See, this is why my husband has his own console, and I know
we're not ballers like you guys.
This is why you need a setup like this.
Yes, exactly.
Right. I'm not a baller like you guys, though.
I'm a teacher. I'm not a baller.
We had a PS4. But it's a glorified paperweight right now because I'm having some kind of weird problem where our controller will stay connected for all of about 45 seconds and then it's not, cut off for no reason, disconnect. I tried playing That's why I haven't gotten any further in Last of Us, because I kept trying to play it, and I'd get just enough to where I'm trying to walk in a straight line, or I'm trying to make a subtle turn, and then he's not making that subtle turn. He just keeps walking straight, and then it pops up the little message, you need to reconnect your controller. I'm like, the flark? So, yeah. We even bought a new controller because I thought it was something wrong with the controller we had. No, it's the console. That thing is just deciding, no, I don't want to connect to anything anymore.
Send it to Sony. They'll fix it. It'll just take them forever.
I may do that because, quite frankly, I'm upset. I was making a bunch of YouTube vids off the footage on my PS4, and I'd like to be able to finish those videos.
Wait, what happened to Paul?
Nobody watches my YouTube channel anyway, but...
When my PS5 broke, but from the time I sent it until the time I got it back was like 15 days.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was that fast for you. I thought it was longer.
Well, it's because I didn't send it off immediately. I tried to get it fixed somewhere around here first, and that was 2 weeks of wasted time.
Would they incentivize? You said it was a PS5. Would they incentivize a PS5 over a PS4? Because I mean, I'm wondering if anybody, I
don't know. I mean, they would. You'd probably not pay much more to just buy a new PS4 on it.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking too.
You could try trading it into game with my PS4.
I've already asked them about that. They told me they'll still take it in, but it'll be considered defective. So I can get like $50 store credit for the entire PS4.
No, that's not worth it. I mean, maybe. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say if Sony can fix your PS4 and then it won't be defective anymore because they'll test it, and if it works, it's fine. If you told them it doesn't work, and then you know what I mean, like that, they'll be like, "Oh, it doesn't work, so we can't take it." But if you get it fixed, then it's fine.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you again. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I was just saying, if you get it fixed and it works, then you could trade it into GameStop, and it would be worth more than $50 for sure.
Can you play it with the controller plugged in, or it just doesn't work no matter what?
All of mine are wireless. I've never tried with anything plugged in. The other reason, so the two main reasons, as sad as it is, isn't the fact that I can't play on it anymore. The two main regrets I have is the fact that I have all that footage. I wanted to finish my Uncharted videos, and two was the fact that I have quite a bit of money invested in VR games, and with the fact that the PSVR 2 and PS5 is not backwards compatible at all. It's like, great, I have all these games I'll never be able to finish now. So
can't the VR 1 be used on the PS5? Because you can play PS4 games on the PS5.
I actually don't know.
You should find that out. It might be fine.
I mean, if I could play my regular VR games on the PS5, then that'd be liquid awesome. So
I'm gonna Google that. I'd be surprised if they did. That's a bold move for them to just cut out a bunch of gamers like that.
I was saying the same thing. I was like, it's not like the VR space is like so huge with your selection. Like, why would you want to cut yourself off at the knees of all these games that have been released already? But what do I know? I sling a wrench.
I can't believe I'm going through these old notes. My outline for the show was talk about who the character is, talk about their romance, talk about their relationship, and then the ending is, would you actually fuck them? That's just the line that I have. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude.
Why don't we do that? I mean, the answer is yes for all of my romance obviously.
Why has that never been a segment on the show? Like, just hold up an alien and just be like, would you fuck them?
There you go. There's a patron chat. Who'd you rather?
God,
I could answer that. I've spent enough time on Archive of Our Own. I know what my imagination tells me. I will definitely be able to answer that. Also, you can't... Sorry, I was just going to say...
Who'd you rather?
Actually, that's really fun. We should do that one time. We should do that for a patron chat. Put that as an option.
Would you rather?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, would you rather? You can play PSVR 1 games on PS5. You have to use PS4 controller and camera.
Oh, so the motion controllers?
Mm-hmm.
Shiny. I have all those.
That's what Google says.
So
I didn't look that.
I think that's kind of what I turned my segment into. Like a would you fuck them is kind of like what I do we haven't done it so much with Fallout because it's not like the whole big rating thing, but I definitely, thinking back, I really do get into the watching this romance scene. Would I put myself in it? Would I enjoy this sex? So I think I kept the would you fuck it.
That's true. It just
the
never.
spirit is there.
I'm
The
starting
spirit
to
is
think I
there.
poured that Jack a little strong.
I feel like you could set up the whole would you fuck them thing and like a tournament bracket on your Discord. Let everybody vote on it.
I
and
was
just,
just
have
gonna
brackets
say-
and then get it all the way to the finals.
A great episode of like a patron chat would be you set up like the tier list and then you rank all of the people that you've covered over the show. Like you just go like round robin style, like each person gets to place the person like on the tier list. So if it doesn't land on you and you like that character and someone puts them in F tier or something, it's like, damn it. Well, I guess I'll be ranking the next person however I see accordingly. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Don't want to play fantasy football? Come play fantasy fuck it? I don't know.
I
actually dig
sounds
that.
like
Fantasy
something I don't
fuck it.
know. Sounds fun. I'll write those two things down as patron chat ideas because I have a running list.
Suddenly it's really
And now
warm
put
in
them-
my house.
I think you just drink too much, right? I get warm when I drink.
I keep
Okay. I think we need to call it a
mentally
live
biting my
because
lip.
we are still live up on Twitch. We are still recording, and I need to get this episode done and send it to V so that way I can do stuff in the morning before I have double appointments in the afternoon.
I'm going to medieval times tomorrow.
Ooh, fun.
I love
I'm
medieval
so
times.
jealous. Do you
Apparently
have
there's
the one
in
with the
Atlanta. We didn't know that, and me, my wife, my kids, and our neighbor's family are going together. Big group.
which medieval times location is the one with the sexy knight on TikTok? Because I want to go there.
Sexy knight.
Yeah, he's got like really long hair. He's the black and white knight. That's
I have
the
no
TikTok
idea.
name. It's like black and white knight.
Around. I mean,
I've
the one
been
in
to
Orlando
I
medieval
think it's the one in
times a bunch of
Vegas.
times.
The one in Vegas. I'm glad you
think
knew what I was
so.
talking about. Me.
I
Yeah,
want to
that's-
find
I went to
Jack
medieval
the
times once.
Whipper. So
Jack the
Again?
Whipper.
Yep.
Jacques
the
the Whipper.
Yep.
Hmm.
So really deep dive on that one. There's a very famous stripper on Instagram, and her name is Jack the Stripper. And she talks about like how what it is to be a worker in the sex industry. What? You are not wearing a Jack shirt. Oh, okay. That's a subject. Zero Jack. Jack the Stripper is a little bit different. It's not Jack, and it's not Jack either because that is
I'm
another
about to say,
completely
Jack
different
Jack is a
character.
completely different thing.
Oh my god, too many Jacksons, and still I don't know jack shit. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go jack off and jack in to Night City.
Rising, boom.